If you've been following this stretching series, today we're going to talk about the hip flexors. And this is an important one, especially after 50, because tight hip flexors quietly affect a lot more than people realize. If you sit a lot, whether that's driving, watching TV, or just relaxing more now that you're retired, there's a very good chance your hip flexors are tight. And when they're tight, they pull on your lower back. They affect how you walk, and they can even change your posture over time. This stretch isn't about becoming flexible for flexibility's sake. It's about staying comfortable, mobile, and independent. Let me explain what hip flexors actually do in simple terms. Your hip flexors connect your upper body to your legs. They help lift your knees when you walk and help you take a step forward. Every time you stand up, sit down, or climb stairs, your hip flexors are involved. So over time, especially with a lot of sitting, those muscles, they shorten. They don't shorten because of an injury. They shorten because of years of daily habits. And after 50, that tightness starts to show up as lower back discomfort, stiffness when you first stand up, or shorter walking stride. This gets worse after 50, not because you're doing something wrong, but because movement naturally decreases. Even in retirement, people often sit more than they think, and the body adapts to whatever position it spends the most time in. Before we do anything, let's talk about safety because this really does matter. You should not feel pain in your lower back during this stretch. You should not feel a sharp pain anywhere. This should feel gentle, controlled, and manageable. We're not forcing range of motion here. We're restoring what's been slowly lost over time. If at any point something doesn't feel right, just stop. This is not a test, it's maintenance. Okay, so now let's set up. You can do this stretch using a chair, a wall, or any stable surface for support. For example, here in the kitchen, I'm using the counter as support. I want you to stand tall, 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, almost like a very small split stance. This does not need to be a deep position, but if you're comfortable with a wider stance, then that's okay, but it is not necessary, not for the hip flexor. Keep your torso upright. Think tall through the chest. Lightly engage the glute on the back leg. That's important because it protects your lower back. From here, slowly shift your weight forward just a few inches. That's it. You're not launching, you're not dropping down. You're just gently moving forward until you feel a stretch in the front of the hip on the back leg. You should feel this in the front of the hip, not in the lower back. If you feel it in your lower back, reset, stand taller, and reduce the range. Once you're in position, breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. This is not a strain. We're going to hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds or so. While you're holding, I want you to pay attention to what you feel. It should feel like a gentle opening, not pressure. If you feel like you're forcing it, just back off slightly. After 20 to 30 seconds, slowly come out of the stretch, no rushing. Then we'll switch sides and do the same thing on the other leg. Again, small movement, upright posture, light glute engagement, gentle shift forward, and breathe. We'll do 2 or 3 rounds per side, and that's plenty. More is not better here. Consistency over time is what matters. Let me point out a few common mistakes I see people make when doing this stretch. The first is arching the lower back. That turns this into a back bend, not a hip stretch. If you feel compression in your spine, reset. Another mistake is forcing depth. You don't get extra benefit from going deeper. You get benefit from control and consistency. And the third mistake is turning this into a balance challenge. If you're wobbling around, use support. There's no bonus here for instability. As far as how often to do this, well, this is a great daily stretch, especially if you've been sitting for a while. It also pairs very well with walking. A short walk followed by this stretch can make a big difference over time. This is not rehab, this is maintenance. Think of it like brushing your teeth. A little every day goes a long way. Before we finish, I want to show you an optional variation of this stretch that involves kneeling on the ground. This is not something you have to do. If kneeling is uncomfortable or if getting up and down from the floor is a challenge, stick with the standing version we just did. That one is more than enough. For those of you who are comfortable kneeling and want a slightly different angle, this can be a good option as long as it's done carefully. If you're going to try this, use padding, a mat, a folded towel, or a cushion under your knee. There's no reason to put pressure directly on the knee. Start by kneeling down gently on one knee, with the other foot forward so you have support. Keep your torso upright. Think tall through the chest. Just like before, slightly engage the glute on the kneeling side. That helps protect your lower back. So from here, slowly shift forward just a small amount. You don't need to go deep. You should feel the stretch in the front of the hip on the kneeling side, not in your lower back and not in your knee. If you feel pressure in your knee, stop. If you feel this in your lower back, reset and reduce the range. This should feel controlled and manageable. Breathe normally while you're here. We're going to hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. There's no benefit to forcing it longer. When you're done, come out of this stretch slowly and carefully. Then, if it feels good, you can switch sides and repeat. Again, this kneeling version is optional. It's not better than the standing version. It's just another way to work the same area if your body tolerates it well. The goal is not depth. The goal is comfort, consistency, and staying mobile over time. If you've been following this series, we've already covered hamstrings, quads, and glutes. Hip flexors are often the missing link, especially when it comes to lower back comfort and walking mechanics. When these muscles start to open up, a lot of people notice they move more freely without even thinking about it. Remember, the goal here isn't to push. It's to stay mobile. You don't need to chase discomfort. You don't need to feel sore. You just need to show up consistently. So take your time with this. Be patient with your body. Small improvements add up over weeks and months. If you're following along with this series, the next stretch will build on this and continue supporting how you move day to day. And as always, move within your comfort zone. Your hips will thank you. This channel is not about turning back the clock. It's not about slowing down the clock. It's about making the clock tick longer. See you on the next one.